Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Action Center's 19th annual Where Action Matters charitable event. We are so glad that you chose to be with us this evening. I want to say a special welcome to our virtual audience. We're so glad that you came out this evening to watch this evening's show. I think you'll enjoy it. But I also want to say a special thank you. We have a studio audience that's with us live tonight. We're looking for a little bit of energy in the room, and we thought this would be a great way to help us get things going in the evening. So my name's John Covert. I'm the Director of Development for the Action Center, and I'm going to be your host this evening. And I'm joined again, as I always am, with our amazing Executive Director, Pam Breyer. Welcome, Pam.
Thank you, John. Happy to be here.
Yep, Pam, I think we have a great show for the folks tonight, don't you think?
We sure do. We have some really special guests with us tonight. We have Tara Pena from Jeffco Public Schools with us, and we have Yvette Gallegos from Jeffco Human Services, and we have our amazing board chair, Ladon Sperling, with us as well.
Wow.
So happy to be talking to all of them tonight.
Yeah, what a great lineup. You know, throughout this evening, we hope that you'll be inspired, that you're going to be moved by what you see and what you hear, and we really hope that you'll be encouraged to make a financial contribution to the Action Center this evening. It's really what makes the Action Center go. And so, in fact, we're going to start off with a bang tonight. You know, we have these wonderful sponsors that have been with the Action Center, and they've contributed over $37,000 to tonight's evening, and they really are what helped make this whole event possible. But there's also another group of donors that couldn't make it tonight, but they really wanted to be a part of this evening. So they've also already made their gift to the Action Center. And between those two groups, believe it or not, they've already landed $97,000 for tonight's event. So we have this fancy-dancy little thermometer that's going to show, as we go throughout tonight, where are we in terms of our fundraising and what we have going on. So I want to thank our sponsors, and Pam, maybe you can help me thank some of our sponsors this evening.
Yeah, thanks, John. I really wanted to do a big shout out to Windish RV, who was our lead sponsor for the event tonight. Thank you so much to Windish. They have been big supporters of the Action Center for many, many years. We've had a partnership in serving our community together. So thanks goes out to Windish RV tonight.
Yeah, great group. They've been with us so many years. We have what we call our hero sponsor. That's Denver Christian School. They've been a sponsor for many years as well. So we're so thankful for Denver Christian School to be a part of this. At our all-star sponsors, we have Dorsey and Whitney, and we also have First Bank, another couple of really good folks that have been supporting us throughout. And then at our pro sponsor level, we have HR Choice, we've got Fuller Real Estate, we've got Denver Credit Union, and we have one more. We have Tammy Melendez, our State Farm representative. All of them have contributed together to make this a special night. So, and what does that do, Pam, all those funds?
Wow, well, without that kind of support from the community, the Action Center wouldn't be able to serve the over 30,000 community households from our community that have been coming through annually to receive things like food and rent assistance and clothing and utility assistance, all of those things that the Action Center is here for, to be able to step up to that need. So thank you so much to all of our sponsors and to everyone who's joining us tonight.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of food, our first guest this evening is no stranger to the food world, not only just here in Denver, but across the country. So our first guest, he's on 3 local live television shows here in Denver. He's actually been on 2 of the White House Christmas decorating committees. I don't know how you get on that crowd, but he's done that twice. He's actually even been on Food Network, and he starred with none other than Martha Stewart. And so, amazing guy. He's a very successful businessman. He has his own catering company and a cool lunch truck, meal truck, food truck called Scratch. So welcome with me, Chef David Bondarchuk and our very own Tawny Eisenbrand.
Well, thank you, John. Thank you, John. As he mentioned, I'm Tawny. I'm the marketing manager for the Action Center, and we have none other than Chef David Bondarchuk with us.
I'm here in the flesh.
Now, you may be wondering why you're here.
Well, you haven't given me any ingredients yet, but I know I'm going to have to be cooking something, so let's get to it.
Yeah, so we're doing our own version of Chopped. But so we don't get in trouble with Food Network, we're calling it Chomped.
Chomped.
Chomped. Because everybody's going to get a delicious bite at the end.
And chomp down on it.
So, without further ado, Chef, Our crew in our self-select grocery has assembled this very fine box of goods.
All right.
Up to you.
Is it my turn to open it
It's your
now?
turn to open it.
It's like Christmas morning, is it not?
I didn't have time to wrap it, though.
Oh, no, that's fine. All right, so these are all just some great ingredients. We've got some Italian sausage here.
Right.
Some broccoli, a bag of broccoli. A lot of great fresh produce. And I really think that that's like what a lot of people are missing sometimes in food deserts is like access to like fresh produce. So this is great. A couple of peppers, a onion, some pasta. I think we totally can do something with all of this.
But, now the challenge is you got to do it in less than an hour.
I think we can do that. People are so busy nowadays, running the kids off to, after school activities, getting homework done, getting ready for the next day's work and school, that people don't have time to put, a fancy dancy meal on the table and spend 4 hours. So I think I got you as far as getting this ready in under an hour.
In under an hour. All right. Well, we're going to turn it back over to John and Pam, and let's get cooking.
Let's do it, y'all.
Great. Thank you, Tanya and David. Chef, I'm looking forward to see what comes out of our studio kitchen tonight. Key to the success of the Action Center is a vibrant and a highly engaged board of directors. And so we're joined this evening by our board president, Ladon Sperling. Welcome, Ladon.
Thanks, John.
So glad to have you with us. Ladon is a tireless advocate for the Action Center, as well as the individuals that we help each and every day. And I'm guessing you've probably been with us 20 years. Is that about right?
It's probably been close to that.
Holy smokes, yeah. So, well, we're glad you're here. And Pam and Ladon, you two are at the helm of this 54-year-old organization. And I know you're really tasked with charting a course to the next 50 years. And I think given the last 2 years that we've gone through, that's not been an easy task by any stretch.
The last 2 years have definitely been a challenge. I remember back in February 2020, sitting in a conference room at the Action Center, and we were talking about this virus that was heading our way, which at the time I was a little bit of a doubter, I admit, but the Action Center luckily was planning ahead on how are we going to distribute food to those in need in our community if we can't let people into our building. And so we have successfully been doing that for more than 2 years now. We're serving more than 200 households every day, which is amazing that we can serve that many people food. But what we're really missing is the relationship piece of the Action Center. And that's the part that we're so good at, is really building relationships with people and figuring out how can we help them on a deeper level. And so I am so excited that we're announcing our next steps to really be able to serve people at that level.
Yeah, absolutely, Ladon. You're so right. That is what has been missing from the Action Center in the last 2 years. We have been doing everything either in our drive-up food distribution or virtually online with rent assistance and bill pay and all of the other things we do. We kept it going during COVID, but we really have been missing that personal interaction. It's really about connecting with people as they come to the Action Center, letting them know that they're seen, that they are exactly where they need to be to get help, that they're greeted by a staff that is there to be supportive and not judgmental and provide all the services we can. So we're so excited to look to the future now, to moving back inside our building, to having those relationships. You know, the need is what you explained. 250 households are typically coming a day right now, which is a lot. So we are working creatively to find ways to bring people back inside and also still meet that increased need, maybe in some kind of hybrid model, so that we have some days where the drive-through can still happen and we can reach those big numbers, but inside the building, we're getting back to that relational work that's so important. The other thing I'm really excited to share tonight is that we are deepening our partnerships with the families in our community. During COVID, families have been really struggling, have been hit so hard, especially those that were already vulnerable. And so it's really important to us that we're going to deepen that partnership with families. And we're joining an organization called FRCA, the Family Resource Center Association, and we are becoming a family resource center. And so we will be doing 2-generational work, where we're working with both the adults in a child's life and the children to support both generations to move people out of poverty. So we're so excited about that real deep relational work and to partner with others in the community to do that work, like Jeffco Public Schools and other partners that we'll bring back into our building, just the way that we had the partnerships before.
And speaking of partnerships, I recently had the opportunity to see a great partnership in action. The Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints donated 2 semi-trucks full of food to our local community. And I was there when one of the trucks was delivered at our warehouse. And there also were the other community partners, the other nonprofits who are also benefiting from that food to distribute to the people they're connected with in our community. So it was just so amazing being part of that and seeing the Action Center being the hub for all of that happening.
That's right. I think one of the great things, John and Ladon, that has happened during COVID, if there are a few great things that happened during COVID. And one of them has been that we've been having community conversations. We've been connecting to our partner organizations more. We've been getting on calls weekly and now bi-weekly, monthly, to connect with each other, to share best practices, to share resources, to make sure that we're working together to serve our community as well as we can. And we're really proud that the Action Center was a leader in those kinds of collaborative efforts. And so when Church of Latter-day Saints wanted to distribute their food, we were so happy to be able to offer our warehouse and our staff support to make sure that food not only got to the Action Center shelves, but the shelves of all of those other organizations across Jefferson County and even Denver metro area that are doing this really important work to feed families.
Yeah, we're a very collaborative group. It's the only way to serve the whole need of the community, without doubt. Well, Ladon, we really appreciate, again, what you do for the Action Center. We appreciate you being here this evening. And folks, you heard it first here, right? A family resource center for the Action Center. That's kind of our next move. That's our next step in our progression in this amazing 54-year-old organization. So again, thank you so much for being here with us this evening.
Thank you.
So great. Well, you know, we want to kind of engage you, our virtual audience, as well as our live audience here. So Pam, what are we going to do to engage these folks?
I think we have some questions that we're going to post on our virtual site, and we're also going to ask the audience. So I think the question's going to come up on the screen here. Sorry, I'm not supposed to turn my back. What percentage of house... Oh, no, this is not the right question. I'm going to ignore that question. The question for you right now is, how long have you been involved and engaged with the Action Center? Or approximately what year did you first become aware of the Action Center? So let me ask our studio audience, how many of you have been involved with the Action Center for more than 30 years? Oh, nobody, not quite that long. How about more than 20 years? All right, we've got some at 20. How about 10? A lot of 10 years, 5 or less. So we have a lot. You know, the Action Center was able to attract a lot of new folks to our work during the challenges of COVID, which has been another one of the pluses of COVID, is people understood that there were a lot of people in need, and we needed to have new support, and we were so lucky to receive that support. So online, I think we got some answers to the questions as well. It looks like we have a similar spread. Mm-hmm. Some have been with us for a very, very long time, and some as few as 5 years. So welcome to you, all of you who are new to the Action Center, and thank you to all of those who've been with us for so long.
Yep, thank you very much. Good. Well, we're going to introduce to you our very next guest. We're really thrilled to have Tara Pena joining us this evening. Welcome, Tara. Glad you're here.
Hello. Hi.
So Tara is the new Chief of Community Engagement and Partnerships for Jeffco Schools. Sounds like a really important job, and so we're really anxious to learn a little bit more about you, who you are, and maybe share with us really what is your passion for families and for students. Just kind of share a little bit of that with us, if you would.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for having me this evening. I'm so honored to be here, and congratulations on the start of a very successful event. And I'm really excited to see how dinner plays out. So that's so much fun. So yes, my name is Tara Pena, and I am the new inaugural Chief of Community Engagement and Partnership for Jeffco Public Schools. And I'm really excited and honored to be here. And so my journey, actually, and really where my passion come from, starts really just down the street. So I was raised in the Curtis Park neighborhood of 5 Points, and I'm a proud Denver native. Much like the students we serve in Jeffco, I was raised by a single mom. My parents divorced they married young, and they divorced when I was just a young child. And my mom took the lead in raising me, had weekend visits with my dad. And much like our single parent homes, we struggled to make ends meet. So my mom relied a lot on the support of family. My grandmother actually was my first teacher who taught me how to read, despite only having a 3rd grade education and not really being fully literate herself. She also relied really heavily, my mom, on community organizations, my schools, and my teachers. So although my childhood was impacted by generational poverty, abuse, and addiction, my mom, my school, and our community made certain that my childhood was as normal as possible. I had wonderful teachers that provided me with high expectations and high supports to ensure that I can maximize my potential. And so they just were really supportive in me and just played a big part in my childhood and my upbringing. And so teachers is something I always wanted to be, so it's no surprise I became a teacher. As a little girl, I used to grade the newspaper with red pencils that I would buy with money that I earned from working in a family restaurant. And just really my mom relied a lot on our schools and our community. And so my journey to Jeffco actually began in the 6th grade when we moved with grandparents to Littleton. And by the time I started in 6th grade in Jeffco, I had already attended 5 elementary schools. And so there was lots of transition and lots of mobility. And so when I started in Jeffco, I was nervous. It was a scary experience. And immediately Jeffco provided wraparound supports to ensure that I had what I needed physically, emotionally, and academically. And my mom also got a lot of support from the community. And so throughout my Jeffco career as a student, I was provided with high expectations and high supports to ensure that I could be successful. And so really that's what this new position is all about. It's ensuring that students like me with experiences from where I come from have what they need. And because of the supports from my community, from my family, and from Jeffco, I was able to be the first in my family to graduate from high school, and also a really proud first-generation college graduate as well.
What a story. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It's really very moving and amazing. Congratulations on your position.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So excited to have you join.
Thank you.
And we're at the Action Center. We've been partnering with Jeffco Public Schools for many years. We provide backpacks when it's back to school time. We provide food at Grub Club and at several of the high schools. And this year we've been partnering with 6 Title I schools and supporting your school liaisons. And so this partnership between nonprofits and the school district, I think, is so critical. And we love that, having the Action Center and other organizations like us partner with you allows your teachers and your faculties to stay focused on student success, while organizations like the Action Center can step in, respond to what we're hearing the need is, respond to the families as they communicate their needs, and really address those immediate emergency basic needs that have to be filled in order for kids to focus on schools. So we're so excited to continue that partnership with us.
Absolutely.
With you.
We are so excited for that partnership too, and truly Jeffco Public Schools partnership with the Action Center exemplifies community engagement, and it's really in service of students. And when we work together, our community wins and our students thrive. And so it reminds me of the mantra that we have in Jeffco, that we're better together. And so I'm just so excited for this new position and what it means for the students and the communities, but also for the opportunity to work alongside the Action Center and doing the amazing work that you do for our communities every day. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And as we're looking towards our family resource 2 generation work, I think we're going to find a lot of ways to complement one another and to work together. So I'm very excited about that, and look forward to the future with you, in partnership with you. Thank you so much for all you are about to do in your new role. I know it's going to be just so impactful for so many students and so many families. And Thank you for being with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and good luck on the event this evening. So excited to see the little ticker get bigger there. So make sure that we're donating to an incredible cause. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to copyright that. Ticker get bigger. I like it. We're gonna use that for the rest of the evening tonight. So yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Which is really wonderful.
Thank you.
We'd love to share with you, and hopefully you can stick around and watch. But we have a wonderful video that we'd love to share with you this evening.
Oh yeah, thank you, John. We, as I've been talking about, the needs of families have just increased so exponentially during COVID, and so we're about to hear a really touching story of one woman and her grandchildren who came to us during this time and really needed our support, and what it did to impact her life and put her back on track. So without further ado, we will now introduce you to Cynthia.
My name is Cynthia Mae Edens. I lived in Sonora, California, okay, which is, I actually lived in Sugar Pine. I owned a house up there. I had my life together. Thought I had it all together. Then my husband was killed in a car accident on the way to work 1 minute after he dropped off my children. So thank God I didn't lose my children, but I lost my best friend. And then I came here, and my grandkids and my daughter followed me here. My daughter kind of fell off and kind of lost her way, so I ended up getting custody of my two grandsons. I was having a hard time, feeding them and jobs, and I was able to come here and get food. And I was doing okay. I finally had got my cleaning business going. COVID. All my clients quit working. Everything shut down. So I was not able to be able to support my grandkids that way, because I need to do it with my business, because I have an autistic one that I have to come to school, or I have to go, I have he's different needs. Some days he's good, some days he's not. So I had to have a cleaning business so I would be able to be, flexible to go pick him up or go do whatever I have to do to meet his needs. Where I live, I'm grateful for, but it's not, and it's getting to be a better neighborhood because they've closed down the really bad motel. I live in a neighborhood I can't walk in. Okay, I can't go on a walk. I don't let my grandchildren out of the yard. If I can't see them, okay, and my grandson's 15, okay, he gets a little upset with me sometimes, but he left one day and came running back home. He come running back in with about 5 people chasing him. I mean, people are lost right now. I have a friend that lived right on the other side of me, which I had her call because she had been trying since October. She is now homeless. And she lost her place about 4 weeks ago. And 20 people in the apartment complex that she lived in are all evicted on the street, right outside my window. I was going to lose my house, and then I was able to apply for it, and Pablo just helped me through it. And if he wasn't there to help me, I don't think I would be in my house right now. I don't know where I'd be. The devastation that has happened out there to the families that didn't get the help, that are sleeping in their cars, it's going to take a couple years to get it straightened back up. These families are out there with nothing. These kids don't even have clothes. And I could have been one of those people, and I could have felt the same feelings they're feeling. And I really am very thankful for the Action Center for being here for me. I wasn't able to make my car payment, which I have to, because I had my engine blow out in my car. I had to pay my warranty. Well, they helped me out pay a car payment so then I can pay my warranty to get my car back. So, they have helped me with many different things. Food to feed my kids, clothes, all kinds of things. There's not anything that they haven't really, any help that I've ever needed, they've helped me. If I did not have the help that I have gotten from Action Center, I would be in the streets with my children. I would not be able to continue to grow and help my grandchildren grow. And my grandson went from an F student into an A student this year. Okay, that would have never happened because we would have been in a motel somewhere maybe not even in a motel. So The Action Center is a lifesaver for many, many people, and I've been able to do good now. I'm doing good, and the kids are happy. They feel safe. I feel safe, and that's really important for me to feel safe, because then my grandkids feel safe. When you're broken and you're down, you just need to know you care. Somebody cares. They just care about you, and they definitely let people know they care. I know they go home at night and they probably wanted to help somebody they really couldn't help that day. And I'm sure it's on their mind when they're going home and when they're going to bed. And you know what I'm saying? Because that's the type of people that I believe that work here. They care about the people. And that's so important, to feel that you care, that somebody cares, because that'll give you the hope you need to keep going.
Wow.
Wow. I've heard that story quite a few times, and every time it definitely chokes me up. You know, it exemplifies so much what the Action Center is here for, to help people feel seen and to help reach out when they're feeling hopeless and give them the hope that they may have lost, to try to meet all of the various needs. And it also reminds me of the conversation we were just having with Tara about how important it is to support the caregivers, the parents, so that the kids can then feel safe and have the stability to thrive. And that's why we're really focused on expanding our work, not stopping anything that the Action Center is currently doing, but expanding our work and deepening the ways that we are there for families, for both generations.
Thank you. Yeah, Pam. That's such a powerful video to watch. Like Pam, I've seen it a number of times, and you know, I think the thing that catches my attention is when she talks about somebody caring, and just how simple is that knowing that somebody cares for you is such a powerful elixir to help people that are struggling. And so we're so thrilled that many times we have probably hundreds, maybe even thousands of Cynthias that come into the Action Center every year. And we are here to make sure that we're providing them with those special needs. You know, Cynthia comes into us with, some Cynthias come in with small needs, some small challenge, but others with really large, really challenging barriers that they're facing. And that Action Center's relational programs and services and what we try to really get in touch and help people are so important to us. So, you know, again, as we mentioned, getting back to that relational model, getting back indoors where we can have those deeper, meaningful conversations with our participants is so vitally important to us. And Cynthia is just one example of people that come to us each and every day. But, you know, quite frankly, if I'm going to be really honest with you, it costs money to help Cynthias. You know, it takes resources. And so tonight we're giving you the opportunity to participate in tonight through a financial contribution to the Action Center so that we can continue to help Cynthias. But you know, when you make your gift, you're actually extending hope to hundreds and thousands of people. You're communicating to hundreds and thousands of people that you care about them personally as a human being. That's what your gift does tonight. It's not just a cash gift that just goes into a hole and disappears and we do something with it. You're helping Cynthia. And so it's a really great opportunity this evening that we want to share with you. You know, our goal tonight is pretty large. We're going to try to raise $250,000 this evening. I know we're well on our way. And so what I wanted to share with you is that we do have this wonderful studio audience that was with us this evening. But what I didn't share with you is collectively, they've raised over $72,000 this evening to challenge you to be equally as generous, to pool your funds tonight and generate $72,000 more so we can help folks. So again, thank you, studio audience, for such generous support of the Action Center. We really couldn't do it without you. You know, there's 3 different ways that you can give tonight to the Action Center. The first one's pretty simple. You can make a one-time donation. Maybe it's $100, maybe it's $500, maybe it's $1,000 that you can make to the Action Center. The other way that we would like to offer to you is we have a program called the Mountain Movers. Now, Mountain Movers are individuals that give a monthly reoccurring gift to the Action Center. Maybe you can do $25 a month and have that reoccurring. Maybe it's $50, maybe it's $100. You know, maybe that $1,000 one-time gift's a little bit of a budget buster right off the bat. Do you know you can give $84 a month, and then by the time you've got to the end of the year, you've actually made that $1,000 donation. So it's really easy to set up a mountain mover contribution. Or you can also join what we call our Self-Sufficiency Society. Now that's a really special group that makes a pledge of 3, 4, or 5 years, and they generate $1,000 a year or more to the Action Center. Now those two, pledge and our mountain mover programs, are so important to the Action Center because it helps us budget. It helps us know what resources that we have available to serve our community. We know with pretty certainty that those funds are definitely going to come in, and we can make those definite plans. So whether it's a one-time gift, setting up a recurring gift as a mountain mover, or do a 3, 4, or 5 year pledge, all of those are very helpful to the Action Center. Now we're going to be very easy in terms of how to make that happen. So there's 3 things that are about to happen. If we have your cell phone, you should have gotten a text from the Action Center, and in that text there's a link that you can use to click now to go to our giving page. If we don't have your cell number, in the chat field on your screen right now, there's a link. You can click on that link and navigate over to our giving page. And lastly, on the screen, you should see the website. You can go ahead and type that into your browser, and that will take you to our giving screen. So we've made it very simple for you to contribute to the Action Center this evening. So if you are thrilled by what you're seeing, if you're moved by what you're seeing, if you want to extend hope and care to other Cynthias, now would be a great time for you to make that contribution to the Action Center. Now, while you're considering that gift, we're going to check back in with Tawny and with Chef and see what's going on over on their side of the cooking field.
Well, thank you, John. Wow, Chef, can you believe that? $72,000 from our folks in the live studio audience.
That's amazing. Thank you all so much.
So many wonderful sponsors making this happen. Like John said, we can't do it without our community. And that is one thing I love about working at the Action Center, is just how well our community rallies behind us. So thank you so much. And again, if you're considering a gift, it means the world because it will help many Cynthias. I got to actually go on a scene with Cynthia and do the filming. She is a wonderful woman, lovely lady, who is passionate and excited and ready to do good for her community, and we're ready to do good for her. So we're so excited about that.
That's amazing. And I'm actually so moved by that story of Cynthia's and all of your support this evening that I myself am going to pledge $1,000 to tonight's event.
What an incredible gift, Chef. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you, thank you. Well, on top of that, you're also doing trompe for us.
I am. We're stirring our Italian, I'm calling this a rustic Italian saute. Paw, 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 paw.
Now, Chef, are you going to give us the recipe to send to all of these fine folks?
Oh, absolutely. And all this came out of that great box. So while the presenters were doing their thing, I was doing mine. I went ahead and boiled off this bow tie pasta. You can use any pasta that you're inspired by. And I also went ahead and sauteed off the sausage and cut it into 1-inch pieces.
That is amazing. It smells good in here.
More on the recipe later.
More on the recipe later. And you know, Chef, you and I have had a chance to talk here and there. I know food is really important to you.
Yeah.
Where did that start? How did all that begin?
Well, when I was 15, I found myself homeless. And I was staying at a youth homeless shelter over off of Colfax and Sims. I rode, every day they gave me bus tokens, so I rode the Colfax bus down to Broadway, and I hung out at the Denver Public Library. There I immersed myself in books, and one day when I returned to the shelter and they were checking us in, they had a television on, and there was this woman there, and she was decorating the White House with then First Lady Hillary Clinton, and I thought to myself, that's something I want to do. Who is this amazing woman? I went to the library the next day and I found out that woman was Martha Stewart. I started reading her books cover to cover, just like textbooks, and she inspired me to go back to school. And I started my catering business in 2008, and since then, like my intro, I've been featured on Food Network. I've decorated the White House twice, and I've really just had a whole lot of fun connecting with people, and there's no other better way to connect with people than over a meal. Right. And I think that that's just absolutely amazing. I even got to meet the Queen, Miss Martha Stewart.
Oh, look at you, life goals. Wow, I gotta say, it's really heartwarming to hear that even though you found yourself in a situation that was less than ideal,
right,
you were able to elevate yourself into the celebrity chef we know and love today. Absolutely. And get to meet the Queen.
Well, you know, in life sometimes you get handed lemons, and you can either make lemon curd or lemonade. You really can do anything. And today I'm going to use lemons to freshen this dish. So,
well, I can't wait to see what's coming next. Thank you for joining us here on Chomped. We're going to turn it back over to John and Pam and meet our next speaker.
Great. Thank you, Chef and Tawny. I know this is a virtual thing, but you should smell what's going on in here. I wish we had smell-o-vision. I think that would just be the only way to do this properly.
That sounds kind of like Willy Wonka. He would have had smell-o-vision, right?
He would have, of course, yeah. So somebody needs to invent smell-o-vision, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
We'll think about that later. Well, look, it's my pleasure to introduce our next guest. Our next guest is Yvette Gallegos. Welcome, Yvette.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Congratulations on such a great start to a wonderful event.
Yeah, thank you, Yvette. You know, Yvette is a homeless navigator with Jefferson County. And so I would guess, boy, over the last couple of years, that must be an awfully important role. But I'll have to be honest, I'm not really sure what all you do as a homeless navigator. And so would you share with us a little bit, I mean, tell us a little bit about yourself first, but then what in the world does a homeless navigator do?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've worked at the county for quite a few years, over 10, and I've been there a long time. And this position became available about 4 years ago. And I was like, what an awesome opportunity to give back. I started out as a teen mom and wanted to give back to my community. I had done the things that I set out to do. I had achieved my goals, and what a great opportunity to be able to give other people that. So I took on this really great job. It's phenomenal. We help families go from homeless to housed, but we do that by focusing on all of the things that can make a family housing insecure or unstable. We focus on mental health, physical health, employment, education, the children. So really every member of the family, we address barriers, find out what those barriers are, and then creative problem solving to build bridges over and around those things. And the Action Center has been such an amazing and intricate piece of all of that for all of the families we work with.
Wow. It's really hard work that you do, so I just want to say thank you. I can't imagine a more challenging but also more rewarding job, and I'm just so grateful people like you are doing it in Jefferson County, so thank you for what you're doing.
Oh, well, thank you all.
And thank you for the partnership with the Action Center. I think this is another example of how we are better together, and our collaboration really helps move families forward. It occurred to me when you were talking that some of those longer-term goals like job development or stable housing, it's really hard for a family to even begin to think about that if their basic needs aren't met. And I think that's where the Action Center can come in and be supportive.
Absolutely. So typically when we have a family who's literally homeless in their car, on the street, in a park, they are in survival mode. They are thinking about where they may stay that night to seek shelter, what they're going to feed their children in that moment. The Action Center has been a wonderful partner in helping us stabilize that emergency. Where is the family going to get food? How are we going to get it to them? And the Action Center is always so wonderful about making those things happen. Clean clothes for school. That's really important for kiddos to feel good about going to school, especially when everything else going on around you can be really tough. Yeah. The Action Center has been wonderful about helping out with that, helping us come up with creative ways to get food and clothing and things like that to those families as we're stabilizing the housing crisis. So it's been imperative.
I think we kind of have you on the bat line, right? We pick up
Yes.
the phone, you're on the other end, you do the same for us. And you know, one thing we hadn't really talked about, but you just mentioned, is our clothing bank. And that has been such a critical source of support for families throughout this time. We were very fortunate to be able to move our clothing bank to a bigger space outside of our main building so that families could still shop safely during this really tough time when we wanted everyone to be spread out. And I know that we have partnered with you to try to find the clothing that your families need and make sure those kids are clothed and can get to school feeling good.
Yes, absolutely, and weather appropriate. As we know, the weather is changing moment to moment around here. Making sure that those kiddos have what they need to be safe and warm and fed.
Absolutely. Well,
Yvette, is there any family in particular or that has an impact on you personally? I'm sure you've dealt with an awful lot of families.
Hundreds,
Yeah.
and I think that they all have impact on me. They all give me so much inspiration, and for what I do and how I do it and the drive that I have when I do it. I also think that they give me a lot of hope that people can do this. People can see themselves for what they want to be and get there. So yeah, I think every family has given me those two things.
Pretty rewarding and fulfilling, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. I have the best job in the world.
That's great. How many are there? Are you the only homeless navigator?
So there are 2 of us that work with families with children, and then we have 9 municipal navigators that are inside the cities that work with singles and individuals.
Wow, it's a big team, and that's just Jefferson County.
That is just Jeffco, yes.
yeah, well, we're really lucky that that web of support has been put in place
It's
recently.
been phenomenal, and thank you all so much for all the support. Our families are just so happy to be working with the Action Center because they're treated like they matter. They get excited when they have their appointment, like, I'm going to go see this person today, and so they really enjoy that rapport that you all work so hard to build, so we appreciate you.
Thank you, and we appreciate you and your partnership and look forward to continuing to deepen that work as we deepen our work with families and all the individuals we're here to serve. So thank you for being our partners and for being with us tonight and sharing some about how it impacts you personally.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Yvette. So I'm going to step a little outside of our script. I think we have another engagement question. One that came up earlier, that should have come up earlier. Now we're going to do it now. And but I think it's an important engagement piece, and it's an important question that we need to divulge to folks.
All right, and I'm losing my place on the question, so hopefully it's on the screen. It is, yay. So what percentage of households coming to the Action Center for support are families with children? So we've been talking a lot here about how families have really been stretched to the limit during this challenging time. And, you know, a lot of us are feeling like maybe we're moving out of COVID, maybe things are beginning to get better and get back to normal. But for so many of the families we're serving, that just isn't the case. And in fact, in recent weeks, in the last couple months, we've seen our numbers going up. We are at the highest point in terms of folks coming to us for assistance that we've been throughout all of COVID, which is really shocking for a lot of us who feel like maybe we're getting beyond this. But times are really challenging right now. So I'm curious, what do you all think is the percentage of households coming to the Action Center for support? What percentage are families with children? Any guesses? 80%. 80, 70, 55. Did you get clued in? So I think we're getting some answers online as well, but we had a great clued in answer here in the studio. It is 55% of those coming to the Action Center are families with children. Wow. So and this is a big increase from pre-COVID. With pre-COVID, we were right around 35% were families with children. So we know that it's harder and harder to raise families these days, and we are just happy that the Action Center has been able to be there to support more and more families with children. Thank you all for participating in our poll.
Yeah, great. So, well, you know what, folks, well, you know what, let's check up on our thermometer. Where are we right now? Can we get a thermometer? Whoa, look at that. Wow. Holy smokes.
Go.
We're making great progress. We're making a move. But you know what, if you're still on the fence and you haven't really decided to make that gift yet, I have a special incentive just for you. So we have 2 amazing foundations that have decided that they will match dollar for dollar what you give this evening, dollar for dollar. That means you double your gift. So that $1,000 you're thinking about making a gift about, that turns into $2,000 right away. You can really double your good this evening with these matched. We have the Glassman Foundation, a wonderful group that is matching dollar for dollar, not only your contribution tonight, but also our studio audience. They're matching dollar for dollar. And then we also have a wonderful foundation. It's called the William McGowan charitable fund, and they're matching up to $45,000 of your gift tonight. So we can double your good this evening. So right now, we still have some time left. We still have 25% more to do. I did that math myself pretty quick. But yeah, I mean, here's another opportunity for you to make that gift. You should still have that link that's on your phone. It's on the chat field. It's also on the screen, so you can make that gift today. So thank you for your gift. Continue to consider that support of the Action Center. It's really important so that we can continue the mission of the organization. So last time, let's go back out to Chef and Tawny, because it really does smell good in here.
Well, thank you, John. What an amazing community we have. This rallying of support is just humbling to watch, especially as a staff member at the Action Center. And now we have matching gifts on top of the challenge gift. I tell you what, Chef, do you think we're going to do it?
Oh, I think we're going to do it, but we can't do it without your help. So make sure you donate right now and help the Action Center, because that's what we're all here for, right?
Well, and I certainly can't do it on an empty stomach. So why don't you tell us what you've made? Because you told us you were going to share the recipe.
Sure. So during the break, I did the sausage and the pasta like I had explained. So the best part about this dish, by the way, also, is that it's all done in one pot. So you don't have to dirty everything in the kitchen. Is that not great?
I love that, because don't tell Chef, but I hate cooking.
Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. I love cooking, but I hate dishes. I don't like dishes. So with this dish, what I did was I went ahead and sauteed up some sweet Italian sausage that came in the box, a little bit of bell pepper and a little bit of onion. And I went ahead and added some of the broccoli crowns, but there was so much that I'm going to save some of those for other meals.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So to make all of this stretch, I went ahead and added the bow tie pasta, tossed it all up. And if you're like on a low sodium diet or things like that, you can freshen up any dish with just a little bit of lemon juice or zest. It does the same thing on the palate that salt does, and it really just like brightens everything up and makes it real fresh. So to this dish, I added fresh lemon zest. I did throw in a little bit of salt, but not too much. And to liven it together, I added a little bit of basil. You can do dried or fresh. If you have parsley on hand, you can throw that in too, maybe even cilantro. Instead of Italian sausage, you can do chorizo. So pretty much whatever you get in your box or whatever you have in your pantry, you can make this Italian saute, or you can make it a Mexican saute. Really, whatever you have, you can do. You don't have to follow this verbatim. So make this recipe your own. And it's really all about being together, coming together at the table, and being able to provide for your family. And that's what the Action Center does.
Well, and I think that's really great, because that's just one box from this week. Next week it might be different, and the week after that it's different, because it all depends on where our food is coming from. So much of our food comes from food rescue, it comes from donations. We're never entirely sure what's going to be in that grocery, but we're always going to have food in the groceries. So
it's like the Chomp Box.
It's the Chomp Box every week at the Action Center. So we're very excited that this is a great, very versatile recipe. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to taste test this. We're going to share it with the live audience. In fact, our honored guest, Paul, is going to get to be the first to taste test. Nothing like being put on the spot, Paul.
Come on up.
All right, Paul, we're gonna give you a dish here. All right.
And you better like it too.
Oh.
Ooh, that's good. That is good.
He really does like it. I was just kidding.
It's not the threat. Now, Paul, you've been a volunteer at the Action Center for many years. Tell us, what do you think of the dish, and what do you think about tonight's event?
Well, the dish is excellent, so congratulations, Chef.
Thank you.
And this is just a wonderful event. Isn't it a great event to showcase the important work that the Action Center does? Let's have a round of applause for that. As Tawny said, I've been a volunteer at the Action Center for about 5 years, and it is such a privilege to be part of this organization. The Action Center is really what I would consider almost a crown jewel in Lakewood, because it brings the community together in ways that assist those people in our community that really need the help, and not only bringing help to them, but bringing hope to them, as we heard tonight. So just a wonderful way that they do that. The things that I like really about the Action Center are that when people come there, they're treated with dignity and respect. No matter what their circumstances are, no matter what their life situation is, the first focus is on what are their needs and how do we help them. And the Action Center brings together so many ways to help people in the situations that they're in. As a volunteer, I also contribute financially, and that's the wonderful thing about the Action Center is that you can not only be financially supportive of it, but you can be a volunteer. And you can actually go there and see how your money's being spent and actually help it being spent by being a volunteer. So I find that to be really wonderful as well. And lastly, I think the staff there, Tawny and John and Pam and all the others that are there, are just a wonderful staff to work with. They make it such a joy to be a volunteer there. So I'm just privileged to be part of the team, and I'm thankful to be here tonight, and this is just a great event, so thank you.
Thank you, Paul. He's running away with the dish, so it must be good. Well, Paul, like many of our other volunteers, do such a great job, like many of our donors do such a great job. We truly can't do it without the folks in our community. So it's your chance tonight to be the hero your community needs, and with that, I'm going to turn it back over to John one last time. We're almost there. Oh, I forgot, John. Hold on. Chef, I am pleased to announce you are the champion of Chomp.
I am.
You
Yay! Thank you so much for having me. This has really been a lovely evening, and congratulations, and let's get on with it. So start that donations.
Great. Well, before we see the thermometer and see where we're at, food looks great. Again, thank you very much, Chef. It's really been awesome to have you on our show this evening, which is great. And thank you, Tawny, as well, for being our host. We really appreciate it a great deal. So I don't know if we can get a drum roll. Where are we at with our fundraising thermometer? It is at... Oh, we're so close. Go, go,
almost
go.
there, John.
We are so close. We are so close. Still a good number, but there's still opportunities to contribute this evening. You know, we're going to keep the giving portal open all afternoon, all evening. And so, you know what? Send that link to family, to friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, your dog, whoever you think might make a contribution to the Action Center so that we can keep this thing going, because we have so many Cynthias that we want to help.
If somebody has a dog that's employed, I need to talk to them.
Right.
How do we get mine working?
Right.
But yes, we have done an incredible job together tonight, so thank you all so much. I can't tell you how much we appreciate all of your support, the support of everyone that's in the room with us, the support of everyone online, and everyone who gave ahead of time and is still thinking about their gifts and sending that link on. We really appreciate it, because without that support, the Action Center can't continue to do what we've been here doing for over 50 years, and we plan to be here for as long as the community needs us. So thank you for everything and for making this all possible. We can't do it alone, and that's what you're all for. So what a great night.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, online folks. Glad you're here. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of us. Give us a call. We'd be happy to answer any questions you have about the Action Center.
Right.
Great. Well, have a great night. Thank you
Bye,
all for
everyone.
coming this evening.
Online.
Have a good night.